Greetings and welcome to Cruiserweight Conversation, the show all about the WWE's Cruiserweight Division. I'm Alex Phoenix, and it was the best of weeks. It was, well, maybe not the worst of weeks, but there was some not so best stuff as well, and we're going to talk about them. Starting off on Raw, we have TJ Perkins taking on Brian Kendrick. There wasn't much this one. TJ Perkins got in some good spots, took Brian Kendrick out with a nice crossbody, hit his wrecking ball dropkick, hit another nice diving crossbody to the outside. However, apparently Brian Kendrick's slice bread number 2 is now the most powerful finisher in WWE right now. It took out Akira Tozawa after very little offense last week on 205 Live, and this time it was the only move Brian Kendrick hit on TJ Perkins, and that was enough to win the match. So, not a good look for TJ Perkins at all. After the match, Brian Kendrick gets on the mic and says Akira Tozawa isn't in the country because he stole his passport. Which, if you know anything about passports, you know makes no sense at all, unless Brian Kendrick went to Japan just to steal his passport. So between that and the match being super short, this all just felt like it was thrown together at the last minute, and it's a shame to see Raw treating the Cruiserweight division like this again. Moving on, we had Austin Aries taking on Tony Nese, which was kind of annoying for me since we've already seen these two face each other just 2 weeks ago. It's also disappointing just because we knew Austin Aries was going to win this match right from the start, which continues to make Tony Nese look bad, which isn't a good look for someone with the nickname the Premier Athlete. The Premier Athlete, but he loses all the time. I don't know, that just kind of irked me. You have all these guys in the Cruiserweight division. They could have thrown any one of them out there to try and have a good match with Aries, using Tony Nese again. Either way, the match was fine. It had a decent, faster pace throughout it. Tony Nese continues to impress me after last week's Fatal 5-Way. He had some good moments, including a nice lion salt from the apron into the ring. But this match was obviously simply to make Austin Aries look good, continue to build him up as we head into WrestleMania for his match with Neville. After the match, we had a nice big explosion and Neville's music hit, and I have to say, the beginning of Neville's music is just perfect for his character. It's very dark and ominous, something you'd hear in a TV show when the villain makes an entrance. So, again, perfect. Anyways, Neville cut a decent promo on Aries, and Aries was able to rebuff him right back, including a great, very entertaining impression of Neville. These promos did a great job to hype their match at Mania. Neville looks like a proper heel who's all talk, and Aries looks strong and confident heading in to the Cruiserweight Championship match. So overall, the Cruiserweight representation on Raw this week was, really two different sides of the spectrum. We had the just terrible Brian Kendrick segment with the whole passport and his super short match with TJ Perkins. Really just felt like a cheap way to remind everyone that him and Tozawa are still going on with their feud. Going on to the other side, we had a very good match between Austin Aries and Tony Nese. Maybe not very good, like I said it was fine earlier, but it got the job done. Both guys looked, Aries looked pretty good, which again was the point, and him and Neville's little back and forth was enough to keep building up anticipation for their match. So again, with Raw, one side, good, the other side, just terrible. Opening up 205 Live, we had an interview with Neville, and we hear he requested a match with Mustafa Ali for interrupting him last week, which is good simply because it's getting some continuity, which isn't always present on 205 Live. So it was nice to see them continuing off something that was very small last week. And once again, we have Tom Phillips and Corey Graves on commentary. Always sad to see Mauro Ranallo miss another week, but another week with a two-man announce team, I am all for that. Starting off, we had TJ Perkins taking on Tony Nese. If you remember last week, during the Fatal 5-Way, TJ Perkins made Tony Nese tap out, and he then attacked TJP after the match. So again, continuity, awesome. This match was actually way better than I was expecting, not because of who was involved, simply because it was the opener of 205 Live. It was paced very well, speeding up and slowing down multiple times throughout, and each guy got in some great spots. TJ Perkins got in his usual array of entertaining spots, such as the Wrecking Ball Dropkick, Corkscrew Plancha, and Tony Nese just continues to win me over every week I see him. I said a couple weeks ago how I found him to just be boring, but every week he's been doing something to impress me. This week, his new thing, he had a nice flurry of kicks on TJ Perkins midway through. Um, it looked great, and again, it was something new, which is always good to see, especially from a guy like Tony Nese that apparently, WWE seems very high on since he keeps getting on TV. The match ended when Tony Nese hit TJ Perkins with his German suplex into the exposed turnbuckle, which he exposed earlier, and then got him with the running Nese for the win. Both of these guys have been putting on great performances lately, but they've just been losing everything they've been in, so having them face each other was a good change, and the two worked very well together. They have very different styles, with Nese being obviously much more power-oriented, with TJ Perkins being more of a high flyer, but both guys are very versatile. TJ Perkins has shown he can be very good, with a ground game and more very technical, where Tony Nese has shown he can fly as well if needed to. So I really hope we see more coming from these two. Like I said, they worked very well together, and I would like to see them build a feud between these two. I personally would not be opposed to a best-of-7 series. Heading backstage, we get an interview with Drew Gulak, and he was asked to clarify what he meant last week when he said 205 Live needs to change. He basically said the problem is the fans for cheering for high-risk moves, and he compared the cruiserweights to glorified stuntmen. He ended this by saying he has the solution and just made his exit from there. So I'll say I'm very curious as to where this is going, but in a good way. However, in this interview, Drew Gulak, he spoke and dressed like a politician, even having an American flag pin on the lapel of his suit. So I'm worried about any potential political angle they might be trying to work in here, but for now, I'm intrigued as to where this will go, and Drew Gulak played his part very well. Up next, we had Akira Tozawa, who I guess managed to get from Japan to the United States in 24 hours without a passport. So yeah, I found it funny that Tom Phillips mentioned that stealing someone's passport is a federal crime. So as stupid as the whole passport thing was, at least got that funny little comment. Anyways, Tozawa took on a local talent who didn't even get his name mentioned, and the entire match was Tozawa ducked a clothesline, hit the German suplex, 1, 2, 3. That was it. Tozawa then called out Brian Kendrick, and when he didn't show, Tozawa says if he won't come to him, he'll go, or if Kendrick won't come to him, he'll go find him. And right as he goes to leave, Tozawa gets attacked by a security guard. Oh, but that security guard is Brian Kendrick dressed as a security guard. He beats him up a bit, hits him with a pretty awesome sliced bread number 2 on the outside of the ring, and then drops a lesson 8 on him, which this time was appearances can be deceiving. So that was that. Head backstage and we see Jack Gallagher and Rich Swann discussing suits, and are interrupted when Noam Dar and Arya Daivari come in, claiming he caught a courier about to deliver another gift to Alicia Fox. Huge sigh. This time it was lingerie. Dar then proceeds to challenge Rich Swann to a match next week that will so hopefully put an end to this whole god-awful storyline. We then get Austin Aries coming out and gives his banana peel to a kid in the crowd, which is both hilarious and, well, kind of a dick move, since it's not something the kid can actually keep. So yeah, kind of a dick move there, Austin. Anyways, he gets in, proceeds to interview himself again, while insulting Neville in the process. Needless to say, this didn't take long for Neville to come out and interrupt, and things actually got a little bit heated here, and it was great. It helped bring more intensity to the feud, but they didn't overdo it. They're just doing a very good job at building this entire matchup. We then move on to Neville's match against Mustafa Ali, and we had the added bonus of Austin Aries on commentary again. So always good to have that there. And anyways, this was a fantastic match. It had some great moments throughout, such as Ali's springboard to the outside, Neville hitting a German superplex, and Ali doing the, as Tom Phillips called it, the standing Spanish fly from the top rope, which, if I remember correctly, is the first time Mustafa Ali has done that move since the Cruiserweight Classic. So it was awesome to see him bust that out again. Neville dominated throughout most of the match, but Ali got in some offense throughout and survived a lot that Neville threw at him. So it really helped him make Ali look good in the process. The match ended when Neville bashed Ali into the ring post and then latched on the rings of Saturn, causing Ali to tap out. This match was also great because it added more fuel to the Neville and Aries feud. Multiple times throughout the match, Neville locked eyes with Austin Aries while he was at the announce desk, including when he had Mustafa Ali in the rings of Saturn. So again, they keep little moments here, just really helping to build that feud. Dare I say, this might have very well been the best episode of 205 Live since it debuted. Although it only had 2 real matches, they could very well be the best 2 matches in the history of the show. Short history, mind you, but the best either way. The TJ Perkins and Tony Nese match was exciting and entertaining as hell, as well as having potential to set up a feud between the two, especially after last week. And as I said just a second ago, Neville and Mustafa Ali was brilliant from beginning to end. It even got a "This is awesome" chant, which is very rare for 205 Live. If my memory serves me correct, I believe that's only the 5th time it's gotten one since the show debuted. With this week in the books, I have to say, the Cruiserweight Championship is one of the best booked areas of WWE right now. Everything they're doing with Neville and Aries has been great for the most part, and when you look at the fiascos going on with the tag team and women's titles on both shows, plus the lack of attention given to the United States and Intercontinental titles in their respective programs, and add in the fact that the Goldberg-Lesnar 3 has very little chance of being a classic, Neville and Austin Aries are in a great position to steal the show at WrestleMania. Now, if you could just go ahead and click that subscribe button, that would be quite awesome of you. And if you use the Twitter, you can follow me at LX_Phoenix. This has been Cruiserweight Conversation. Until next time.